Welcome to Unwritten-Stories of Significance. The guest I have for you tonight, folks, is a young lady who talks from the heart. She talks from the soul. I want you to listen to her story because she is a role model for many young people to use their voice, to amplify what they mean to say and what's important to them. With no further ado, I'd love to introduce to you the beautiful Kiandra Browne. Kiandra, welcome to Unwritten Stories of Significance.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you are so welcome, hon. I am so glad you're on the show. Your story is something that is a template because young people need to hear what you're saying tonight, and it's inspiring. It's just phenomenal. I can't even find the words, but I don't want to take away from it because every single minute, second is precious. All right. So I'd like to introduce you, Kendra. Kendra, I'd like to introduce yourself to our viewers, please, and we'll take it from there.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Kiandra Browne. I'm a junior at Indiana University, and I play basketball.
Awesome.
I like to throw a ball into a metal hoop.
Throw a ball into a mellow hoop. All right, honey. And that you do, and you're doing it so well. So throughout our pre-interview, honey, just to tell your story, you were brought up, you were born in Montreal, right?
Yes. Yes.
All right, hon. And if you could tell us a little bit about your growing up, your high school, a little bit of story about it so we can just build the story forward.
Yeah, of course. So, as Joy mentioned, I was born in Montreal, Canada. My mom really pushed me into, athletics as a kid. I started playing ringette from like the age of like 2 or 3, which, morphed into soccer and to now basketball, and I dabbled in volleyball and flag football and so many different sports. But nonetheless, sports was always a really big part of my life. So as when I made the change from soccer to ringette, I decided to focus in on basketball. And as I focused in on basketball, that brought me to Saint Laurent in Montreal, to which I had the absolute pleasure of, being able to be at that school and be part of that program that really helped me elevate, my basketball to the next level. The program allowed me, to be seen all across the East Coast of the US for basketball, which, has enabled me to play college basketball at, at the second best school in the country right now in terms of basketball. So we are ranked number 2, which is a great thing. It's never been done in history before
Woo!
at our university. So we're really pumped about that. The program, here is amazing, and Coach Morin has really been able to turn the program around, which I'm just grateful to be a part of something like that. So yeah, that's kind of how I ended up being where I am today, Cole's Note version. But I'm excited for what the future holds. I'm excited for what the coming years hold for me in terms of my basketball, in terms of what I do on the court, in terms of what I do off the court. So I'm just excited all around.
Beautiful, hon, beautiful. Now, you lived in Montreal, you did all your school there, and you got a basketball scholarship, right?
Yes, so I did forget about that. I did get a scholarship to go play a year in North Carolina. So I did my grade 12 in North Carolina, and then I earned my scholarship to play, Division 1 basketball at Indiana.
Okay, so now you're currently at Indiana State,
Indiana University.
Indiana University, okay. And then you live in America too, also, right?
Yeah, so I live in Bloomington, Indiana.
Bloomington, okay. So how was that like now? I just want to kind of that was a great introduction on your story, but I just want to kind of break it down. So now you got a scholarship,
Mhm.
you went to Indiana, you're playing your dream, right? How was that like when you got your scholarship and playing in this arena? How was that like?
I mean, just being able to know that I can take, basketball to another level is amazing. When I started getting offers and I started getting, Power 5 offers, and just seeing the amount of coaches that that believed in me and that believed in my abilities and believed that I could make a difference on their team, was phenomenal. I think it's every girl's dream, to be able to play at the next level. And I mean that's always been my dream. When I was in high school, I want to play college. Now I'm in college, I want to play professionally. So it's just it was an amazing moment for me, and it was an amazing time that I had, going through the recruitment process and being able to see that, people saw potential in me. And then, to being able to play in Division 1 basketball games, especially in Assembly Hall, is amazing. There's no other word for it, honestly. It's a dream come true. It's something, like I said, that little girls like me like kind of dream about when they're playing basketball, when they're training, those long hours and the long hours that you spend in the gym all the time, and the work that you put in when no one's looking, so
Right.
being able to have that dream, being able to live out that dream now is, it's an amazing feeling, and it's not something that I can put into words. It's only a feeling that people who have been through what I've been through and who have gotten to this level can really appreciate, and can really be able to know how it feels.
Right. We got some pictures to show, but I'm going to just hold on to that for a second. When you say people, what I've been through, can you just explain that? Because people are going to hear, okay, people, what she's, okay, what has she been through?
Well, I mean, I definitely was not born into the most privileged background either. I am Black woman. I became a Muslim. I wear a headscarf, I wear hijab. I'm the only athlete in the NCAA basketball that wears hijab. So, I'm different, I'm different.
Yes.
I'm not in line with the way that everybody else is. The way that I grew up, my mom has made tremendous amount of sacrifices to ensure that I'd be able to play basketball, to be able to have food on the table, have a roof over my head. The sacrifices that my mom has made, is absolutely off the charts. I don't want to get too much into it, because if I do, I'll get emotional. But
No, I know. I know.
no, to just be able to have a mother like I do, who has, who's always been my biggest fan, my biggest supporter, who has
Yeah.
poured, everything that she has into me, into my dream and my want for success. It is completely off the charts. Like, she's gone above and beyond what what a traditional, like, what the role of a mother is.
Yeah.
She's gone completely above and beyond all of that, and she's been there when I cry, she's been there when I've been happy, when I've achieved my goals, when I failed. She's been through it, she's been through it all with me. So um just, knowing the sacrifices that my mom has made for me, coming from, I know that we've spoken about this before, just being a Black woman, like, period.
Yeah.
I've had my share of, racism. I've had my share of Islamophobia. I've had my share of any kind of, discrimination that a Black Muslim woman could face. So
Mm-hmm.
just knowing that, like, I've been through all of this, nothing was handed to me, nothing was served to me on a
Platter.
silver platter. I've had to work for everything. It makes it that much sweeter,
Yes.
knowing that I've had to work for everything that I've had, and nothing has been handed to me. It does make it that much sweeter, and it makes it that much more enjoyable in the end.
You so well said. That's why I can honestly say I love you, honey, because whatever you're saying is coming from your soul. It's
Yeah.
coming from your soul. And
Mhm.
it's amplified right now, hon. Okay, let's show some beautiful pictures. Oh my God, there's one there with your uniform, with the one that you're holding and you have your hijab on. That is the beautiful red. Who took those pictures, hon? Who took those
We
gorgeous?
So this picture was one of the pictures that we took during our pre, like, season picture shoot, or whatever you want to call it.
Yes,
I got the inspiration. Well, it's a pose that a lot of people do, but this pose in particular, I was influenced by Bilquis Abdul Qadir. She has a very similar picture on her Instagram, and it's one of the most, I would say, the most, like, famous, one of her
mm-hmm.
most famous pictures that people know her by. Or when they see it, they're like, "Oh yeah, I know that's Bilquis." And for those who don't know, Bilquis is the is the first Muslim woman to ever wear a headscarf in the NCAA. So
Right.
she is not only she walks so I could run type thing, right? She is not only an amazing woman, very powerful woman. She's an absolute trailblazer, you know, and she like I said, walks so that I could run, and she's someone that I look up to a lot. You know, she's someone that I turn to for advice. Especially when it comes to, you know, just what it means and to be a Black Muslim woman playing basketball in the United States. It's not the easiest thing. There's a lot of discrimination. There's a lot of things that you have to deal with that other people don't have to.
Right.
But no, so that's a little bit behind that picture and why I wanted to take it and why, you know, it kind of hit home for me because you know, I'm just saying like, okay, she was there and now, you know, I can continue.
You
Um,
got
I can continue it, you know, the trailblazing work that she has started. I want to be able to pick up where she left off and you know, continue.
you got it, hon. There's another one of you folding your arms and you're just standing there.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's those two pictures there that we're showing right now. It actually brands your message on what you're doing. Now, you go to school in
Yeah.
college and you're studying business and marketing.
I'm
So
studying, so yeah, it's like it's called management and human organization. I do have like a business degree too, and I have a minor in sociology.
wow. So how do you handle it now? Because you practice 3 hours a day.
Yes.
So how in heavens do you sleep? Do you eat?
Yeah, great questions. Sometimes I wonder too, but no, being a student athlete is not easy,
No.
by any means. You know, I'm never gonna sugarcoat it. I'm never gonna sit up here and tell you that every day is, you know, peachy and, you know, it's the best thing ever. I mean, it's amazing. I love being a student athlete. I wouldn't trade it for the world, but every day is not sunshine and lollipops and, you know,
Mm-hmm.
rainbows. There's hard days. There's days where you don't want to get, there's a lot of days, especially when you get in season where you don't want to get out of bed. You're tired, your body's sore,
Mm-hmm.
you fell asleep last night, you didn't have dinner because you were just so exhausted. Now you're up and now you're like dehydrated and all these things, you know, like you're just your body's aching. You have two assignments due that night, but it's also a game day. And you just missed like three classes because of traveling. So you have to make up all those classes. And you're, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of
Yeah.
things that go into being a student athlete. There's more than just dribbling a basketball, you know. And then on top of that, like your grades can't slip. You have to maintain a
No.
certain percent average. You have to, you know what I mean? Like these things, like I said, it's just not easy. And but Coach Morin, she always tells us, you know, pressure is a privilege. And I really like that quote just because not everyone has to deal with this pressure that we have, you
That's
know.
right. That's
Student athletes have pressure, but when are we going to consider it a privilege? You know,
wow.
the fact that, you know, we have the pressure of, like I said, like being on, we can't skip class because it's, you're not just another student, you're a student athlete like that.
That-
Like you have to set, you know, you have to set the standard. So like coach says, like, you know, pressure is a privilege, and as soon as you embrace it is when you'll be able to kind of flourish.
You got it, hon. Wow. I we gotta go. We're gonna come right back, guys, with the amazing Kiandra Browne. You rock, girl. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Unwritten Stories of Significance. Kendra, wow. Holy cow. That was incredible, hon. That first segment rocked. Like you spoke from the soul. So I don't want to lose a second because I'm going to get you for every single thing I need to do on this show. Phenomenal, honey. Okay. I want to go into your story of your childhood just a little bit, just the childhood part. Okay. Because the message is powerful to young people who need someone to give them inspiration moving forward in their lives. So, in your childhood, and if through our pre interview, you mentioned being a mixed race
Hmm.
and the issues you had that come along with that. So, if you could just share with it how you dealt with it, and yeah, just share that incredible story here.
No, of course. So, my mom's white. My mom's like white Canadian. My dad's Black Jamaican. So I am a bit lighter in complexion. Um and I mean, I think that I've gone to two different types of school. I've gone to a predominantly white school where, I was made fun of, and I'm also going to put in there that I was like 5'10" in 6th grade. So that didn't really help my case either. Um
No.
So I'm basically this like Bigfoot, in this predominantly white school when, I had to deal with kids telling me like don't touch them, you're gonna make me dirty. I've been told to go have a shower because I'm dirty. I've been called the N-word. I've been, like just anything out of the book. Like I'm not gonna go through it because I just like to not focus on the negative. I like to
Right.
focus more on, the positive. But just like, I've had to deal with that. And then on the other side, then I went to a predominantly black school, and then I was like, all of a sudden I was like not black enough, quote
Mm.
unquote. And I think that a lot of other mixed kids go through the same thing because both sides, if you will, don't accept you. So I'm
Right.
not white enough for my white friends, I'm not black enough for my black friends, so that means like what am I? And then
That's right.
society's treating me a different way, but then, yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like
Yes.
nobody really wants you.
Right.
You're kind of like stuck in the middle. So it's definitely, it's not the easiest, thing to deal with, but how did I deal with it? I just kind of honestly threw myself into the work because, and when I mean throw myself into the work, I mean in terms of basketball, because this is the only thing that everything else doesn't matter.
That's right.
Like sports, that's why I love sports so much, because everything else outside doesn't matter. It doesn't
That's
matter what you're wearing. It doesn't matter what you have in your head. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. It doesn't matter whatever. If you can hoop, you can hoop.
Mm-hmm. That's
That's all
right.
it is. And basketball is such a rewarding sport in the sense where you will get what you put into it. You'll get out of it what you put into it. So if you're putting in 2 hours a day extra work every day, well, you're going to get the results of what 2 hours extra a day look like. If you put in 3, you'll get that result. You put in 4, you'll get that result. If you put 9, you'll get that result as well. So, what you put into it is really what you're going to get out of it. And that's what I love, so much about basketball. So, when dealing with stuff like this, like I just threw myself into the work and I just told myself, okay, if they're going to act A, B, or C way with me, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to outwork all of them.
Wow.
It
So you do
doesn't
it
like,
for, go ahead. Sorry. Go
go
ahead.
ahead. I was just gonna say, like, I'm just gonna outwork everyone. Like, I'm not gonna let anybody work harder than me because I'm gonna be better than you. You might think you're better than me off the court for whatever reason. You might think that I'm not as good as you off the court for whatever reason. But that to me, like, once we step in between those lines, like once we get on the court, like it's over for you. I've put in so much more work than you have. I have so much more dedication than you have. Like, this is my time now. And I'm not by any means the most athletic person. God gifted me with height, so I'm like six
Mhm.
foot two. So God gifted me with that. He gifted me with a strong body, but he definitely did not give me that much athleticism. We'll put it that way.
Okay.
But I feel like I don't have an advantage in that situation, but definitely what I can control, I control. I
That's
can't
right.
control my height. I can't control, my athleticism. I can't control all of these things, but my effort is something that will never waver. That's something that will never change. My dedication, my loyalty, those things will never change. Shots may go in, shots won't some days. It doesn't matter. But, the heart the heart and work that I put in to the sport is something that will never change for me.
So
And I
you're a
try
high,
to just focus on that, what I can control. I can't control what other people are saying, and stuff like this. But I can control, like I said, like just the effort that I put into the sport and into every practice, into every rep.
wow. Wow. You're a high achiever then.
Yes, I would say so, yes.
Do you write down your goals or is it just here that you just do it in action?
So sometimes I do write down my goals. Sometimes I would say some goals are just like I want to make it to the WNBA. I want to play professionally, period.
Hmm.
Like, period. And then, throughout my day, I'll be like, okay, is this coach also said, like, is this championship mentality? Is this how, like, I think about Kobe Bryant a lot because I respect the way that he approached the game, the way that he was just different. Like he was just different breed in
That's
terms
right.
of the way that he attacked the game, the way that he looked at the game, the way that he, looked at at his opponents or his teammates. Um, it's kind of like a what would Kobe do type moment.
Hmm.
But it's really like, is this championship mentality, is this championship effort, is this championship abilities that you're doing every single day. So that's kind of, those are the, I guess, the two goals that I kind of look back on when going through the day. And then of course, I mean, I have smaller goals, like I want to increase my free throw percentage, increase, be better at left hand hooks, and be better at like ball handling and stuff like this. So that's when I say some of them are up here, but then the smaller ones that lead to the bigger one, I would say that I would usually write those down and track them.
Okay, hi. Wow. Ah, I'm speechless. I have to look at my notes just to get me back because your story literally consumes everything that I'm thinking here, hon. Touches my soul, sweetie. Being a Muslim, when
Yeah.
did you when did you become a Muslim? What and why did you become a Muslim?
So I became a Muslim in the September of 2020, so my freshman year of
Yes.
college. And, alhamdulillah, praise be to God, like it is the absolute best decision that I've ever made in my life. It was, um, I felt like I was lost and God guided me. And it says in the Quran, it says to do not find yourself lost. And did I not guide you? Right. Like this
Right?
is what Allah says in the Quran. Um, and I feel like God has guided me. And Islam is such a beautiful, beautiful way of life.
Mm,
It's very in line with our predisposition as human beings. It's in line with the way that God has created us. And we pray in sync with the sun. We pray, we our Islamic identity comes first to anything else that's worldly,
yes.
you know? Like I'm a Muslim first, I'm a Muslim second, and I'm a Muslim third. And that's how I go about things. So I think that, the way that I treat my parents, it's through an Islamic lens. How I am a basketball player is through an Islamic lens. How I'm a friend, how I'm, anything else, like it's through, the lens of Islam and the ways of the Prophet, peace be upon him. So, how did I come to this decision? I researched. I was lost and God found me.
That's
I
it.
wanted a better relationship with God. I wanted to know what the purpose of life was. And I found that with Islam. I found that with like I said, being a Muslim first, second, and third. The way that the Quran has been preserved, it is not it's been preserved in its original language for over 1400 years.
Right.
God promises in the Quran to preserve it and to preserve the message and to protect its message. And I feel like this is a message that's been in line with all of the prophets that came before, the final messenger, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So I think that Islam is just such a beautiful religion. I think that it's just, like I said before, just so in line with our fitra, with our innate predisposition, with the way that
It's
we,
right.
yeah, the fitra, like the way that we are, like our innate disposition, the way that, humans, just the way that we are.
Right. Okay.
It's very much in line with that. And I feel like there's a reason for everything. And I think that Islam, answers those questions for me. So I know this is longer, maybe longer than what you
No,
wanted, but it's just, I just can't get over it. Islam is just such a beautiful religion. It's such a beautiful religion.
hun, it's your story. So I'm not going to dilute it. I'm going to tell it like it is. I'm going to have you share it from your heart. Right. So that was beautifully shared. We only have a minute and a half left. And I know you're going to come back and you're going to share another part of your great story in another episode. But when you look in the mirror, pretty girl,
Mhm.
what do you see, Kiandra? What do you see?
I see the creation of God. God created me. I'm a creation of God. And I think that everything that I am, anything that I've been able to accomplish has been with the blessing of God, because I wouldn't, if Allah didn't want me to be a basketball player, I would not be a basketball player.
That's right.
If Allah didn't want me to come to the US, I wouldn't be here.
That's right.
Nothing is I'm if Allah didn't want me to be 6'2", I wouldn't be 6'2". You know, so all of these things that the reasons that I am is because my creator created me this way. And I am just purely a creation and like servant of God, first and foremost. So that's who I see when I look in the mirror.
Kiandra Browne, thank you so, so much, hon. We look forward to have you coming back, and we are going to be coming back on a part 2 of your wonderful story. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Give me the heart.
So much. Big hearts.
You're welcome, sweetheart. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You're welcome, honey.